Good evening, students. Uh, in transmission and distribution, in our previous classes, we discussed about the structure of power system. In this class, we are going to see the topic about comparison of AC transmission and DC transmission. So why we need to study the concept AC transmission and DC transmission? Because which one is the efficient one for transmitting the very high voltage? We discussed in the structure of power system, we can transmitting the voltage up to the level of 765 kilovolt. So based on that level of the voltage, we need to uh, choose the better transmission method. For that, we need to see both the AC transmission as well as DC transmission. So in our first slide, we're going to see the comparison of DC and AC transmission. We already know that the electrical power transmission. That means transferring the electrical energy from generating station to load centers, and then it will reach the consumers. That is discussed in our previous classes. Simultaneously, it can be carried out using the two transmission, that is alternating current and direct current. We can choose this transmission based on the distance which is covered by the transmission, and then level of voltage what we transmitting from one end to another end, and then economical considerations such as using the lines, insulators, and transmission towers, etc. First of all, we need to know the AC transmission. What is meant by AC transmission? In that, alternating current is the main thing that is defined from the basic onwards. So transmitting the electrical power using alternating voltage and current. That is the AC transmission. With the help of transformers, so we can easily step up or step down the voltage based on the level of transmission. So considering the AC transmission in our mind, it automatically click on with the sinusoidal. So voltage and current vary sinusoidally. So that is the basic thing about the AC voltage and current. So we can easily transmit the voltage by using the AC transmission with the help of transformers. And it is the main thing in main system used in the power sectors for transmission and as well as distribution networks and industrial and domestic supply. We know that all we are using AC transmission and distribution. So it is the major one. By comparing this DC transmission, which has constant voltage and current, but in AC transmission, we know that sinusoidal. So it has some frequency, but in DC transmission, there is no frequency because it has constant polarity, so constant voltage and current. So while comparing with AC and DC, AC transmission needs transformer, but in DC transmission, it requires converter and inverter station. And then applications of DC transmission system, it covers long distance bulk power transmission and undersea cable transmission, just below the under the sea, and interconnection of asynchronous grids. These are the major things covered in the DC transmission systems. Next, in comparison, in our previous slides, we discussed about what is AC transmission and DC transmission, what are the things we are using the AC and DC transmission. Now we are going to compare the both the transmissions parameters. First parameter is nature of current. You already know that alternating current is for AC and constant is for constant current and voltage for DC transmission. In terms of frequency, you know that 50 to 60 hertz, 50 in India and 60 hertz for outer other than India. And in DC transmission, there is no hertz because there is no frequency because it is constant voltage and current. Then next parameter is reactance effect. In AC transmission, we have reactance effect because of using transformers and coils, which are transmission lines we are using. So it has some reactance effect. And in the AC transmission, there is no transformer, and so it has absent. The skin effect is present in the AC transmission, skin effect, and then in DC transmission, it is not there. Corona loss, it is in terms of it is a hissing noise and then violet glow of some wastages that is very higher due to the long usage of the transmission lines. In terms of high, but in DC transmission there is low. In terms of power factor, it's very important in AC transmission, and there is in DC transmission it is not applicable. The number of conductors, you know that three phase, and then here based on the polarity, you know the positive and negative, so only two. Then stability limit, it exists. There is no stability limit. Voltage transformation is very easy with the help of transformer, but here it is very difficult. And then initial cost for AC transmission is very lower comparing to the DC transmission. Next, why we are choosing the AC transmission based on its advantages. First one is voltage can be stepped up or down easily with the help of transformer. And we are having simple switching and protection operations are there. Then existing infrastructure available because each and everywhere we are using AC transmission. So that is existing. Then next one is lower terminal equipment cost. So it is initial cost is low. Then it is very much suitable for short and medium distances. So we can easily transmit the short duration and medium distance for the level of voltage. It is up to we are transmitting 765 kilovolt. The limitations are it has reactive power losses, and then stability issues are there, then skin effect and charging currents. And in this slide, typical transmission voltages. What are the transmission voltages? Voltage levels are there, which is using for various applications. For 11 kilovolt, we are using for distribution, and for 33 kilovolt sub-transmission, 66 kV sub-transmission, and then above 110 to 132 kilovolt is for transmission, and next level is high voltage transmission, that is 220 kV, and then extra high voltage transmission 400 kilovolt, and then ultra high voltage transmission is 765 kilovolt. So these are the various levels of transmission voltages for the from starting from distribution to UHV transmission. These are the basic transmission voltages and the voltage levels are used in this transmission and distribution. After AC transmission and DC transmission with the level of voltage. And in our next class, we will discuss the skin effect and corona effect. Thank you, students.